Hey guys, welcome back to Soulstream. Today I want to talk about something slightly different. Yesterday I got a new guitar. It's a very inexpensive guitar, certainly aimed at the beginner market, but it actually got me thinking about a few things. Firstly, are some entry-level guitars actually the best choice for beginners? Certainly not all of them are made equal. Secondly, if you, like me, have been playing for a long time, I won't say how long, why do I still buy inexpensive guitars? Is it just because I am missing something in my life? Or is it because I can potentially see them as great mod platforms and I like the concept of making something my own? But that really raises the question, what makes a inexpensive beginner guitar worth it as a mod project or an upgrade? Okay, so I won't leave you hanging for too long. The new guitar I got yesterday is this awesome looking Kramer Baretta Special. Look at that! Banana headstock! As many of you out there, I am a big, massive Eddie Van Halen fan. And, you know, I've always loved the early Van Halen stuff, and this clearly is in that vibe. Strange enough, for over 20 years, I've been looking at these styles of guitars, but never bothered to buy one. So I decided to pull the trigger. It was a total impulse buy, but it got me thinking on a number of points that I mentioned before. The color is amazing. It has a little bit of sparkle, very, very nice. One zebra pickup, a traditional 6 trem, beautiful headstock, a very nice maple neck, and a mahogany body. The construction looks fantastic and it feels right, nice weight to it, very nicely done guitar. So the bare bones of this are really, really nice, and I was very happy when I opened the box and I checked it out. I then started playing this guitar for a bit, and that's when it all happened. I'm going to cut straight to the chase here. This guitar will not stay in tune at all. The trem system is very, very cheap looking. It really doesn't feel good. It's incredibly hard to push. I've actually even taken a spring off because I don't think it needs 3 springs on this gauge, but still doesn't make a difference. As soon as you touch it, it goes out of tune. So clearly on a 80s balls out guitar like this, you're not gonna have it fixed, right? You wanna do those dive bombs. So immediately, that is a bit of a problem. Electronics are cheap as anything. They actually don't feel bad, but the single volume knob, as soon as you go down, it cuts off completely. There's no taper whatsoever. The tuners are terrible. It takes you 5 winds, nothing changes, and then it jumps. So not great tuners at all. The nut is a beautiful plastic. It's cut well, very well actually. Look at how the nut is cut. It's actually cut very well on the first fret. It's lying perfectly on the fret. It's not cut too high, not too deep, but it's obviously a cheap plastic. As soon as you bend anything, it pops and the strings catch in the nut. Now, I know what many of you guys are going to say. These are to be expected. It's under 200 bucks, so it's a entry-level guitar. But it did get me thinking, if I were to choose this guitar as a beginner, would I enjoy the experience and would I be happy with it? The answer is absolutely not. I would definitely not be happy with this standard of guitar, because as a beginner, these things that are fairly simple to fix would seem like a massive deal because the knowledge isn't there, the experience isn't there, and so you would have to spend a great amount of time researching on the internet how to fix these things, and possibly you wouldn't even know they were wrong because your ears aren't trained yet to know these things. So that leads us to the first question which I put in the intro, which is, are all beginner guitars or entry-level guitars good for beginners? I think this is the perfect example of an entry-level guitar, which personally I do not think is an appropriate instrument for most beginners. it will lead to dissatisfaction. It will lead you to sounding, quite frankly, crap out of tune, and will bring some problems which are very easy to fix. You may not, as a beginner, want to fix them. Just to highlight this point, I will put this one down and let me show you a guitar that's in the same price range, more or less, but is of a completely different standard of manufacturing and of quality. You may have seen my demo video of this, and I will link it somewhere here, but this is the Artist TC59, I think, T-style guitar. Same amount as the other one, but is one of the most solid guitars I've played in a very long time. Tuning is immaculate. It actually has a bone nut. It will not go out of tune even if you try. Has great electronics, push-pull. You can split the humbuckers. Locking tuners, guys. Locking tuners that work very, very well. So regardless of, you know, the completely different style of this guitar to the other one, regardless of the looks, etc. If I had to give advice to someone starting out on guitar, whatever age you are, whatever style you like, I would say go with something of similar quality to the Artist guitar and do not go with something of the quality of the Kramer guitar, because this stays in tune, it's solid, the electronics work fine as expected. So as a first guitar, this will make it easier for you to play, make you enjoy yourself a lot more, and if then you want to trade it in or buy another one, it will keep you going on that journey. What I think the problem with the Kramer guitar is, the problem as I see it with guitars of the quality of the Kramer one, it will put some people off, and maybe a percentage of those people will just think that guitar is not for them because it's too much of a pain, it's too complicated, whatever it may be. You won't get that desire to keep playing. And that's the thing. I've had many guitars. I went through a phase where I really wanted an inexpensive 335. So what do, you buy an Epiphone. I hated the way it played. I don't know what it was. It buzzed, it rattled, the pickups didn't sound great. I eventually either broke it or just gave it to someone. I can't even remember. But that was a waste of $200. In hindsight, I regret doing that, because with a little more experience, with a little more knowledge, it could have been a great guitar. I could have worked on it, I could have filed the frets, I could have changed the nuts, etc. But at the time, that seemed to be impossible. What I did was just stop playing it. So then, I know what you guys are thinking. Why the hell did you even buy this? This brings us nicely to the second set of questions that I had at the beginning. What makes someone with 20 years experience that has lots of instruments, lots of different guitars, like myself, that records, plays live gigs, etc., choose to spend $180 on something like this? Well, firstly, let's not beat around the bush. 99% of the guitars we buy are because we like the way they look. And I like the way this looks. It looks beautiful. I love the finish. I love the banana headstock. I would put banana headstocks on every guitar. I just think they look awesome. I love the image of Van Halen with them, like the bare bones. So the one pickup, that's what I want. So that's an undeniable truth, right? The second aspect that I think personally is incredibly important. What is it that I actually look for in a mod project? Well, for me, if the neck's good, if the neck feels good, if it's the right shape, if it's the right size, if it fits the guitar, and possibly if the frets are in a good starting place, then the rest for me is secondary. I'm happy to do the rest, but the neck for me makes or breaks a guitar. It has to have a good neck. So I had tried some of these and I was always really satisfied with the neck. So for me, this is the starting point. For a mod project, as an experienced player, I'm just happy buying the neck. I don't care about the rest. And this is what makes it worth it. So To make my point even clearer, I hope you can see it at the back. There's a Harley Benton Fusion, I think one of the early ones. It's a good guitar. It has stainless steel frets, locking tuners. The trem is a Wilkinson trem, so incredibly good standard. I love Wilkinson stuff. I put Wilkinson trems on all my guitars. Great products. So the top that you could ask for. But I never play that guitar. I was never happy with that guitar because I didn't like the neck. The neck just never felt right. Personal choice, guys, but the neck never felt right for that style of guitar. But being a silly guitar player thinking that everything will change if you mod it enough, I didn't think about that. So what I started doing was upgrading all the electronics. I got a fantastic solderless kit imported from the States. Shout out to Mad Hatter Guitars for doing that for me. I put a DiMarzio Super Distortion in the bridge. Actually took out the neck pickup because I didn't like it. Those two mods cost more than the guitar in itself. But you know what? I still didn't play it afterwards. It didn't do it because the neck never felt comfortable to me. The lesson there for me is very simple. If you're a beginner, even in 2023, you still have to do a little bit of research. You still have to go on websites, go on YouTube, check out what people are saying about a specific beginner guitar. Fundamentally, check out whether the thing will stay in tune, people are happy with the neck, if there's any big, constant manufacturing errors, and whether possibly the pickups are average. If you have that foundation, then it's a great guitar for someone starting out. It will not hinder you in your journey. However, if there are constant, well-known issues with a lot of those points, for example, again, and I'm not, just to be clear, I'm not picking on Kramer here because I bought it, my own money, and I've got big plans for this. I'm not picking on this, but it is very well known and very suspicious that Kramer ships out these guitars with the trem block here, fully screwed in to the body, 3 springs for a tiny trem, which is cheap, whatever material it is. That is very well known. So if you just put Kramer Baretta Special trem in Google or YouTube, it will come up with loads of people saying exactly the same thing. This thing will not stay in tune unless you screw around with it. So just do your research, because you can find, like the Artist guitar, like certainly a number of Harley Bentons, some great products. I bought this guitar because it was a spur of the moment instinct, and I think I can make a good, if not a fantastic playing guitar out of this. And again, I'm not the only one. This is what 90% of people that have bought this guitar do. So clearly, Kramer, if they want to market this at a beginner level, entry level, it's not a good guitar. But it's a fantastic guitar for someone who knows what they're doing, someone who's happy to get their hands dirty and mod it. This is exactly why I bought it. It's a great mod platform. Not for beginners, mod platform. Ultimately, you should just be aware that not all entry-level guitars, according to their price points, are beginner guitars, because this for me isn't. I really want you guys to please let me know. Have you got any experience with these guitars? Do you think they're okay? Have you done anything? If you have, what have you changed? Do you have any experiences with similar guitars like this that actually aren't so good for beginners but work really well as a mod platform? And just let me know what you guys think. For me, this is a learning process. This is a community. I want you guys to give me your feedback, your input. Let's do things together. So having said that in a very roundabout way, let's mod the hell out of this thing together. I've already ordered quite a few bits. I will take apart my Harley Benton Fusion and use some of those bits on here, and we will do that together. So as usual, guys, thank you so much from me and the banana headstock. I really appreciate you guys being here. Be good to each other, keep rocking, don't worry about what anyone says. Rock and roll is alive. Be good to each other and rock out.